Alex Answer here, countdown until the moment in which I depart for Southern California via Greyhound. Now I'm about to go into this library here and print out my ticket. When you buy a ticket on Greyhound, you should know that it is non-refundable because I was having cold feet, so to speak. I was having second thoughts last night. Part of it has to do with the travel itinerary. You see, when you travel via Greyhound, this will be my third time, by the way, but I'd like to think that I'm at a better place in my life, so that I'll have a better time. Both trips were pretty bad, especially the second one. In fact, one of the Greyhound staff members almost started a fight with me. Basically did. Not physically, but verbally, over a miscommunication. That was on my way to Portland. That was 2014. The time before that, taking Greyhound was late 2013 during the solar, not the solar, but the polar vortex. It was very cold going into Kansas City, Missouri, and I was going there also to sleep on the floor. The difference between then and now, this experience sleeping on the floor, perhaps I might have some more allies in Southern California. Who knows? Perhaps there might be friends of mine that are watching my channel that may have some work available, short-term work. Perhaps there may be some stuff regarding entertainment, movies, alternative media. Who knows? Sky's the limit. But if it is happening somewhere, it'll be happening somewhere like that, in a city like that, or region like that, or other places. But I've been doing my own media by myself for a long, long time. Haven't had an opportunity to interview anyone for a long time. So maybe there's somebody out there watching now who's in Southern California that could be a liaison between myself and other individuals if you already have those connections. But in any case, I could just be going to California to hang out for a bit, but to get there, that's the main thing, is to get there. So the first time I took Greyhound, I was leaving Colorado, going to Kansas City, Missouri, and I stayed there for a few months. And then I said I was willing to go back to Portland. Again, this is before I had my own land, before I had, a shed to stay in, before the last year and a half of somewhat stability. So now is a situation that I'm looking at in which I'm preparing myself in mind, body, and spirit, as well as my pack. I'll go over that later, to try to pack as light as possible, to take the essentials, but to pack as light as possible. Because when you're traveling on Greyhound and you're carrying a lot of things and you're doing a layover for 6 hours, I have a 6-hour layover in Colorado. See, it doesn't take me straight to California through Arizona. It takes a roundabout way even throughout Colorado. So I'm at where I'm at in Colorado, but then it goes north, away from the destination, further up Colorado. And then, after 12 hours of layovers and other stops in Colorado, then, and only then, is it going to head to my destination. Instead of it being a layover in Vegas for 6 hours, it's in a small, dinky, right-wing town in Colorado, unfortunately. The only time that I get in Las Vegas is about an hour, and that's 3 a.m. So, a lot of these layovers, it's not really enough time to do anything. The situation in Los Angeles, for those of you that have ever traveled on Greyhound, and you've ever traveled through Los Angeles, for example, or Southern California, doesn't matter where you're trying to go. Santa Barbara, San Diego, other places in California, everything gets funneled through this station on East 7th Street. It's the worst as far as stations go for Greyhound stations. A lot of homeless inside there. There's a hepatitis outbreak that I read about in the news last week or a few weeks ago, and they're concerned about that spreading. So I'm concerned about my health and eating the right things ahead of time. I'm eating some extra kale today, as well as some quinoa. Next time I'm at the store, probably during that 6-hour layover in Colorado, I probably want to up my vitamin C intake, as well as any other preventatives, things of that nature that I may want to be taking when I'm in Los Angeles. See, the thing is, even if you're a brave guy, some of these areas are really, 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 really bad and really depressing, really desolate, and not a good place. It's not a good adventure experience carrying a pack for hours and hours and hours. And apparently the LA Greyhound station is 1 hour from the actual downtown LA area. So it's close, but a very long industrial walk. So there are literally thousands of reviews about how horrible this station is. You know, it sounds like just punishment to the poor. Because, you know, literally there are people that will start fights with you, offer drugs, cause other problems, people that smell like urine, people that are covering up their urine smell by the smell of cologne. So I'm going to go through all this to get to Southern California. Hopefully, there'll be some allies there. Hopefully, maybe some of you are watching this and you're in the California area. That would be cool because I've never traveled to California before as an adult. You know, just 8-year-old, 9-year-old at Disneyland. That doesn't really count. So I have high hopes with regards to tap into that primal energy that attracts so many people to Southern California. Not so much the entertainment aspect of it or the media aspect of it, but you know, this would be a great opportunity to shoot a lot of video. At the very least, I'm going to be recording video of some of these places that I'll be visiting and uploading later. But yeah, I remember what it was like to be on Greyhound and to even have a few people start something with me. Bit of advice, I guess, to myself and anyone traveling on Greyhound, bring a book. Bring a book that you actually have an interest in reading. Bring a journal that you actually have an interest in writing in. Write your life story. Write a cliff notes to your right story. Write a letter to yourself. Write about some of the goals, you know, that you would like to achieve or the experiences that you would like to have. But, you know, even looking at that train station on Google Maps on East 7th, was it 1617 or 1716? Just looking at that and zooming out, I mean, it looks like a demon. Just looking at the freeway setup. But yeah, a lot of people don't know why I've traveled in general, why I've gone off the grid. And the only advice that I have is keep subscribing, keep watching, keep listening. Because when you change your environment and you change the elevation and you even go to some areas that might be a little uncomfortable, or you might have an uncomfortable trip in order to get somewhere, that might be necessary. You know, developing that mind, body, and spirit. How many people are going to be grounding themselves in a meditation on the Greyhound trip? Things like that can help. Staying away from junk food, soda, too much caffeine. Really important tips, drink water. I haven't talked about it lately, but pumpkin seeds are really good for protein. So I'm going to be nibbling on pumpkin seeds while eating as much as possible before the trip, so I'm not feeling super, super hungry. I'm also trying to get a fair amount of exercise, upper and lower body, right? So, you know, my body wants to rest for those days in which it's going to be sitting for 31 hours. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, and I'll be back with